Go. Back to Spy X Family Anime Review, Episode 29. Yeah, first review I've done of this in 18 months, and also this episode was the first new episode released for the Spy X Family anime in almost 2 years. Yeah, the last episode aired back in December of 2023. And like usual, they have 2 stories for the episode, and on occasion they do this where one story is completely original, and their story is basically a canon story. This is the 38th episode of the series, known as Berlint Panic and The Informant and Nightfall. The B story of the episode adapts from Chapter 60. You're thinking, wow, we're at Chapter 60. Given the fact the manga is released on 122 chapters right now, kind of makes sense. And this is only season 3 of the show. And I get the reason why they waited almost 2 years to release another season for the show. So, the reason I could think of, because the manga comes out I think it's once every couple weeks, I think it is. Yes. So, the opening story is basically Anya with Yor and Lloyd. While they're in a park, of course, Lloyd ice cream. She's there with also Bon2, the dog, where eating 3 scoops of ice cream, apparently eating too fast would get her a stomach ache. I don't know if it's really true or not. Of course, in a balloon. And then she gets a vision of a guy using construction equipment to cause damage by picking up trees and throwing around. So they kind of fake going home, and then she finds the guy who is very shifty. And apparently this guy has not taken a day off at all. And the guy looks like he hasn't slept in a week. So here he is destroying a random building because apparently his boss said apparently he treated like scum for no reason. So Lloyd has this weird battle with him with construction equipment. And he beats him, tells him, take a day off. And then they go home, and Anya does homework to something she wants to watch cartoons. Yeah. And that's the opening story. The second story focuses... Now, Lloyd is in second story, but Anya and Yor are not there. My guess is the reason why they decided to have the opening story is because Anya and Yor are not in the chapter they adapted for the episode. Lloyd is there, and probably want to give Lloyd something to do. So that's probably the reason why they created the anime original opening. They do this sometimes basically to give our lead character something to do, even if they don't play a role in the actual chapter itself. So we started out with Fiona, Filona, I think her name is, aka Nightfall, where she gets info from Stephanie Young's character, Sylvia, the handler, about... This is kind of interesting. So, there's a shortage on strawberries, and a politician was upset of the lack of strawberries on his birthday cake. You're like, what? Why the heck would there be a strawberry shortage? It makes no freaking sense. So basically, Fiona talks to Lloyd briefly about, anybody basically who's a counterfeiter, make it basically a fake seal. It's like, I know some of his connections. So basically, she goes straight to a random apartment where she runs into Frankie. And gives him a code word, oh yeah. It's like, oh, you're pretty. He jokes, oh, I'll give you the pretty woman discount. And of course, basically, he knows basically who actually forged and stuff. And they go to a particular club he knows, but they have disguised as a couple and they get inside. And of course, Fiona's like, give me disguise. And then she basically gets disguised that makes her look like a rich gangster's wife. And she said in her mind basically goes, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. You go and praise the fact Lindsay Seidel, it just play it for laughs, this character. And they go inside. By the way, Frankie also turns his afro into a little mini ponytail. And then meets the contact. Gives info, what he wants. And I love this cool moment of Viola just tossing her card at him. And he catches it. I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool. And And of course, is already basically contacting her client. They go outside, followed by basically a bunch of government stooges, where basically taking the alley. Of course, he chases, and of course, Fiona proceeds to break a man's arm with her legs, and takes out various people. One guy basically shoots at her. Frankie basically tackles her. He gets grazed, but he's like, "Get off me!" But he gets basically injured anyways, and just I go to this one area, but Frankie's like, "Oh no, that's not a good area because basically that is full of snitches." So go to abandoned subway town to hide. So at first they turn it down, and then eventually, yeah, they do it. And then the very next day, Fiona comes by Frankie's stand. They give him the fact that his alias, Frankie's an alias that he uses when he operates the cigarette stand. And it's like, yeah, we don't have a problem. Of course, basically another job for him. Like, I don't work for you again. You basically come for my friends. And that's the episode in a nutshell. Really fun, a really fun story here for this one. And I think everybody basically did a great job with this one for the voice cast. Yes. So, and with that, I'm caught up. Yep, completely caught up. So, excuse me. That's going to be pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next time, Comic Corner, and then it's on to Super Sentai. Okay, next video. Bye.